What's up, guys? It's Sean. How you doing today? Just wanted to touch base with everybody, throw out some quick little thoughts about social media hijacking. How to use current events, common hashtags, trending searches to drive more business and more attention to your page, your brand, and your business. I've done it in the past pretty successfully. One of the better ones, I had a really successful ad run about basically tying Deflategate a few years ago to tire pressure and the importance of checking it, and encourage people to come in for a free tire pressure inspection and adjustment. You can do it a million different ways. A couple of ground rules. Obviously, a lot of the hashtags and trending things are political. So you always want to be careful when you go into that realm. There are some political things that you can kind of poke at and not take a side, and just kind of like mention it or make it relevant. But you always want to be careful with that. You don't want to be, you don't want to become the Republican car salesman or the Democratic car salesman and just, tune yourself into one small audience, because you'll basically cut your audience in half one way or another. Maybe you do want to do that, and if that's the case, great. But for this purpose, you kind of want to be careful with that. But some of the things you can do right now, it's December, Christmas is coming up. If I'm selling, Chevy trucks or something like that, I'm going to go get a 2500 or a 3500, long bed, maybe a red one or possibly white, and I'm going to go out there. Maybe I'll spend a few bucks and have a coworker dress up as Santa and put him in the back of it. But I'll go out there and do a quick video of it, talk about some features, some functions, things like that, and maybe at the end, on my, I can say it, but I'll also put it in the comment section or in the words, the header of my post. This thing's so awesome. It's got such a big payload. Kris Kringle's coming to pick one up to help them make deliveries later on this month. Anything like that. If you put it in the words, above your video when you go to post it, or if it's live, if you put that as your header, do hashtag Kris Kringle or hashtag Santa Claus, something like that, something to tie it in. What's his name? Prince Harry getting engaged to Meghan Markle. If I'm selling Jaguars or Land Rovers, something like that, I'm going to talk about how awesome it is and maybe make a joke about Prince Harry getting it for Meghan Markle as a wedding present. I don't even know if the British still own Jaguar and Land Rover, but neither does anybody else unless you work for the company. So it can still be a relevant term, a relevant, combination there. You could say, hey, we got specials that are so unbelievable. What's the guy's name? They're so unbelievable that Mueller's going to be investigating them next week. Something like that, Throw out things that can relate current events. Use hashtags when you can in the description to try to bring yourself closer and more relevant into current events. Because I can't say it enough. If your page, when you scroll down your page, if all it is pictures of people you sold cars to and a listing of all the specials and deals and walkarounds of cars, you're gonna lose engagement every single time. I promise you. Your customers are gonna add you after you sell them. They're gonna look at it for a little bit, but after a while, they're not into buying a car anymore. They're not gonna sit around and follow what their car salesman's doing these days. It might keep you in the forefront to an extent, but we all know how Facebook algorithms are. You're going to fall off. You're not going to be relevant anymore. They're not going to be shopping anymore. They're not going to be watching you anymore. They're going to fall off. This is just another tool, another trick, another tip to try to stay relevant. Put out content that, even if it is about a product that they may not be looking for, maybe it's relevant to something going on in their life. Maybe one of the Kardashians is going to have another kid, and you can relate it to seating capacity of a large SUV. The options are endless, but just be aware of what's going on around you. Try to relate that to what you're doing and relate it to your message. Try to get into that with hashtags and things on Instagram. If you're on Snapchat, try to use it there. Again, every social media platform has its own demographic. If you're selling cars to people that are like 35 to 70, Facebook's it all day long. If you want to sell something to kids that are in college or about to graduate. You know, if you're going to promote a college graduate program for a product that you're selling, Facebook's not going to be where to go. Snapchat's where they're at. You know, the kids in between, the 25 to 35, they're all over Instagram. They're not on Facebook anymore. You know, so Facebook is great. It gives you the grandma complex where the grandkids, or my kids are on Facebook, so my parents are on Facebook to see a picture of their grandkids. You know, that type of mentality, that's fantastic. It gives you a much bigger reach. But guess what's going to happen in 10 years? Where are the grandkids going to be in 10 years? They're going to be on Snapchat. They're going to be on Instagram. So try to, you know, if you're not on those platforms, maybe dip your toe in a little bit. Try to become relevant on those platforms as well. It's kind of it's different content and it's a little bit different approach. But at the end of the day, your main goal should be to make sure that you have content going out to the people and the demographics that you want it to go out to, and that it's relevant to their life. Buying something is only relevant to someone's life. If it's a car, it's only relevant every 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years. If it's a house, it's only relevant once every decade or two. So if you're going to stay in the forefront with them, it's not going to be pitching sales. It's going to be on real world, lifetime events, trending events, the things that are getting the most likes and the most views and the biggest hashtag hits. So food for thought. Hope it helps somebody. You guys have a great day and make it a great weekend. Keep hustling.